And yeah, sorry about that, but you know, that's just the way it is sometimes. I might have to try to put you on the stand here because working off the ground like this can be a little tedious. So I might have to just put you on that stand. Let's see if it holds. Just to give me something to. I don't have to get down on the ground too far. So let's see how heavy you are. Yeah, you are heavy. You are heavy. And big. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is big and heavy. That's all I gotta say. It's big and very heavy. Just compared to the 10-inch miter saw. I'm just saying. So I'm just gonna have to be careful because it does tip back. It will tip back because it is heavier. I'll tell you that much. Let me bring the lighting over here a little bit so everyone can see here. So let's get that 45 and see what I can do with it. Bring a little flashlight as well. Okay. So let's see here. Okay, so loosen that so I can get that degree down. There we go. It's going to stop at 45. Good. So at this point, I think all I have to do is just make sure that it's at 45. And I'm just going to follow the fence. Make sure I don't touch the teeth or anything. Just get onto the blade. I don't know if you can see that, but okay, it's slightly off. Slightly off. It is slightly off, ever so slightly. Let's try to get a larger triangle to slide in there. Okay. Yeah, slightly off. Okay. So it's slightly off on the 45 on this side, which that's gonna make a difference. That is gonna make a difference. So I'm gonna have to come in here somewhere, and I'm gonna probably have to make that adjustment right here on this side. So I probably have to adjust it, but the question is, I have to get under there somehow. I think it came with the hex wrench. What do you know? Came with something like this, so you can adjust it. So you don't actually even have to have tools. It came with the tools with it. So that just worked out really wonderful. So I think I'll be able to just go in here and just, okay, excellent. Excellent. Let me see if how it goes. If I turn slightly to the right, what would happen? slightly to the left. Oh, okay. That seems like it would loosen it. Okay. All right. Okay. Trying to figure out how this works out that way. Obviously, there's something here. Okay, that just looks like it just pushes it. By turning this, it just barely. That loosens it. But that loosens the bolts as well. Interesting. Okay. Alright. Let's have some fun with this one. I hope you're all ready. Okay. So, let's see what it does. Let's see if it did anything. No, it didn't do anything. Sorry if you're not seeing this, but I'm gonna need both my hands here. Okay. Let's see if I loosen this. Okay. All right. I wonder if I messed it up. This one says it's okay. It's on the higher side. It's slightly off. And maybe you have to adjust it going this way. Because the way they're positioned, there's just no way you can. Maybe they're meant to be pulled instead of pushed. Okay, I think I got it. Alright. So, I was adjusting the wrong side. Alright, you gotta adjust this side because the screw here, this screw here, you can see that, was going to be pushed in or unscrewed, depending how you look at it, to adjust the 45 here. So that's got to be it. That's the only thing that can be explained on how it works. Otherwise, this doesn't make any sense. So. Problem is there's that bolt, there's that nut here preventing it from going in any further. I have a sneaky suspicion we're going to have to loosen that or tighten it, and that's going to help keep it in place. So let's have a look here. I slightly tightened it a little bit to close that gap in. Yeah, it's working out way better. Yeah, it needs to be just a little bit more so. Yep, gonna have to, because the good news is I got this set of wrench, so it's gonna work out just fine. It should be able to work out just fine. Let's see, what do I think it is? It's probably metric because, just because internationally, everyone's on the metric system. Okay. So let's just put that right here. And let's try to figure out maybe a 15. No, 15's too big. 12 could be 12. 12 is too small. Could be 13. 13 it is. Wow. Okay, so I just have to loosen it. There. So I'm loosening it, and then that will allow me to tighten this. Okay. Now let me see if that. I don't know, it's 13. We could just set this aside somewhere. I'll just set it aside somewhere right here. Man, I can't wait to get that table installed and my shelving done. Jeez. Oop. So it's a little bit harder because it's you have to work with that bolt, that nut going in there. Okay, that according to this, it says it's right on. let's see the longer angle here. What's it telling me? Okay. All right, I think this is way better. Okay. Could be a little too much. Let me back off on it a little bit. Son of a bitch. Okay, that's perfect. That is. I think that's spot on. I just got to tighten this. I just have to tighten it, keep it in place. Oh. So the nut actually will keep this hex screw in place. Okay, there we go. There we go. So it just doesn't, it won't move any more or less on that part. Let me double check it, see if I make sure I didn't move it. This is probably the only drawback on this one, is that it's yeah, that's good. That is really good. Okay, that's set up, right? All right, so we got that set up. Let's go ahead and put this down and tilt it to the other side. And do the same with that. Do the same with this. So do the same thing on this side now. So I've kind of already messed around with it. So let's see what I did. Let's see what I did. How bad did I screw this up? Actually, no, that's pretty good. It's really good. I don't know if you see that. That is really good on this side. Okay. So on this side, it's actually perfect. Okay. Probably didn't even move it at all. Okay. So this side on this side of the fence, based on this straight angle here. Let me see, it's not even really that straight, but on this side, it's good 45. I just have to deal with it. So, anyways, okay. Since that's good, let's just test it going in the middle again. I wonder how I'm going to deal with that, but that's might be another story I just have to deal with. Oh. Okay. It's just okay. This is what I'm going to have to do. All right. There's a little play in here because mainly because of this gadget right here. This guy. You're just going to have some wiggle room to have it to 0. But it looks like if I just go ahead and just push it as much as I can all the way to the right, that it's lined up to 0. You know, you just might have to just take your square every time to do this too. That might be another thing that is just going to have to be done. Just have to take your square and line it up and then tighten it at that point to get your 0. But that's the nature of a double bevel, I guess. There we go. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's really good right there. I'm going to take my square and check it. The only thing I don't like about this particular square is that it's so short on this side, and you're getting just that small narrow spot right there. But you know, hey, yeah, that's good. That's good. And if you really want to check it, you can just go ahead and put this level up here. Have it just go all the way through, because the bottom's straight, the top should be straight. And now you can really check it. You can really check the whole thing. See how straight it really is. And I'm not sure if you're able to see that or not, but if you haven't been, I apologize. Okay, let's see if it. I see barely a narrow gap on the bottom of this. You can see right here towards the bottom, right along here, that there's a narrow gap in there, and I'm going to see what I can do to compensate for that. How much further I need to push it. And I guess it's something you're going to have to just do. Okay. This could be the adjustment right here, and because after all, when you get a board, you're going to feed it. You're going to feed it, of course. You're going to feed it going this way, but you're going to feed the whole thing where it just comes across like this. So that's kind of why I'm using this because supposedly if the board is level and straight, that's kind of what you're working with, like this. So that's why I'm trying to get it leveled straight up that way, which anyways could affect the way I get to my 45 too. But let me see if this hex wrench fits in here. If it does, that'd be awesome. And of course it does not. I may have to turn that a little bit, but let's see if this is also a 13 here. I don't know if you're able to see that. Yeah, this is the 13. Okay. So I'm just going to have to play around with that a little bit. Because after all, you pay a lot of money for this thing, you sure want it to cut straight. So that's kind of just my point. So of course I could, let me see if I could just, all it takes is just to loosen this and then get it done. Sorry if you're not able to see this. I'm just gonna have to, I really need my both hands on this. And you know, if this is the case, you may have to just do this every time to line it up to 0. Oops, sorry. I'm really splitting hairs, but it's good. It's good. I'm just splitting hairs. I'm gonna have to get that just slightly adjusted. Just slightly adjusted. Man, just a hair. But yeah, I'm splitting hairs is what I'm doing. But it's good. Whew, it is good. I have to admit, I'm impressed out of the box. How really accurate it is. All the features. You get a tool, which is nice. So my rating on this is super duper excellent. Go ahead and spend that extra money in getting it. If you got the 10-inch, that's fine. And yeah, sorry about that, but you know, that's just the way it is sometimes. I might have to try to put you on the stand here, because working off the ground like this can be a little tedious. So I might have to just put you on that stand. Let's see if it holds. Just to give me something to. I don't have to get down on the ground too far. So let's see how heavy you are. Yeah, you are heavy. You are heavy. And big. Oh yeah. Yeah, this that degree down. There we go. It's going to stop at 45. Good. So at this point, I think all I have to do is just make sure that it's at 45. And I'm just going to follow the fence. Make sure I don't touch the teeth or anything. Just get onto the blade. I don't know if you can see that, but Okay, it's slightly off. Slightly off. I probably have to adjust it, but the question is, I have to get under there somehow. I think it came with the hex wrench. What do you know? Came with something like this, so you can adjust it. So you don't actually even have to have tools. It came with the tools with it, so that just worked out really wonderful. So I think I'll be able to just go in here and just, okay, excellent. Excellent. Let me see if how it goes. If I turn slightly to the right, what would happen? Slightly to the left. Oh, okay. That seems like it would loosen it. This is big and heavy. That's all I gotta say. It's big and very heavy. Just compared to the 10-inch miter saw. I'm just saying. So I'm just gonna have to be careful because it does tip back. It will tip back because it is heavier. I'll tell you that much. Let me bring the lighting over here a little bit so everyone can see here. So let's get that 45 and see what I can do with it. Bring a little flashlight as well. Okay. So let's see here. Okay, so loosen that. So it is slightly off, ever so slightly. Let's try to get a larger triangle to slide in there. Okay. Yeah, slightly off. Okay. So it's slightly off on the 45 on this side, which that's gonna make a difference. That is gonna make a difference. So I'm gonna have to come in here somewhere, and I'm gonna probably have to make that adjustment right here on this side. So